Hello and welcome to Inside Indiana Business. I'm Gary Dick, coming to you this week from Indiana's fourth largest city, South Bend. I'm actually standing in the middle of one of numerous quality of life attractions that have been added here in recent years, Howard Park, an attraction for families and residents young and old here in St. Joseph County. Well, you know, this week IBJ Media and Inside Indiana Business, along with the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, brought our Engage Indiana series to the South Bend-Elkhart region. It attracted more than 300 business, community, and political leaders to the Century Center for a conversation on issues shaping the regional economy. Outgoing Indiana Secretary of Commerce Brad Chambers, the keynote speaker, and one of his final official acts before leaving office. Now, the South Bend-Elkhart region is made up of 3 counties, St. Joe, Elkhart, and Marshall, a manufacturing hotbed, perhaps best known as the RV capital of the world. It is estimated that more than 80% of all RVs sold in the United States are manufactured here. And this region is in the midst of a surge in advanced manufacturing investment. The biggest, by far, General Motors and Samsung SDI will begin moving dirt very soon in nearby New Carlisle for a $3.5 billion electric vehicle battery plant with plans for 1,700 jobs. It's the region's biggest economic development project ever.
I don't think people have ever been as excited about a project as this one. To have one of the largest companies in the country picking our area for an emerging industry. We've been really at the forefront of automotive going back 150 plus years and stuff. So for us to be right in the middle of the evolution of the next chapter of automotive has us really excited. We have an area out there that has about 20,000 acres available. Not all of it will be developed, but we have really long planned for major industrial space out in that area. And we have 2 things in particular that drive development out there: water and electric. And those are the concentration of both that not every part of the country has. So when people are looking at Indiana, there's really a couple key sites in Indiana. We think we have one of those 3 that moves us to the top of the radar on each one. And that infrastructure that we've put in place, in some cases 40 plus years ago, will now start to see the fruits of that labor.
Not far from the GM site, Texas-based Alcogen is expanding its silicon battery operations, adding 75 jobs. And AM General this year landed a 10-year, $8 billion contract from the U.S. Army to produce armored trucks, adding several hundred jobs and pushing employment in the region to more than 1,000. The University of Notre Dame continues to be a big driver of tourism and economic activity in the region. And increasingly, the Golden Dome is serving as a beacon for innovation and entrepreneurs. Notre Dame's Idea Center launched 28 startup companies last year. Additionally, the university's active startups raised more than $86 million in investment funding, a nearly 60% increase over the previous year. Since its founding in 2017, the Idea Center has launched nearly 150 startups. Well, that focus on innovation and new economy investment is also reflected in the Labs for Industry Futures and Transformation, or LIFT network, which is being fueled by a 5-year, more than $42 million grant from Lilly Endowment. The LIFT initiative connecting Notre Dame to key stakeholders in the region in an effort to advance the region in next-generation manufacturing, entrepreneurship, applied analytics and technology, resources to educate, train, and retrain the region's talent base, a critical issue here. A Brookings Institution report identified the South Bend-Elkhart region as the 3rd most vulnerable workforce in the nation to automation.
We're sitting in really the highest concentration of manufacturing jobs in the nation. Unfortunately, we lag the nation when it comes to per capita income, per capita GDP. We don't have the best productivity. So we're trying to deploy automation along with digital analytics, digital maturity. And in addition to that, as I said earlier, grow and attract and retain talent. So our job here isn't trying to displace workers. Absolutely, that is not our goal. Our goal is really to take the people we have, upskill them, make them more productive, increase company profitability, and add to the resiliency of the region.
Well, certainly another major issue, housing or lack of housing in communities large and small throughout the state of Indiana. It's an issue that has a direct impact on talent attraction and retention. But here in the South Bend region, there's a bit of a mini housing boom. It's estimated there are some 2,400 new housing options, either recently completed, under construction, or planned. Hundreds of new units in and around Notre Dame and in downtown South Bend as well. Among them, a project across from Four Winds Field, led by Devereaux Peters, a former Notre Dame hoop star and WNBA player who is investing back in the city of South Bend.
We want to be able to have a lot of opportunities, a lot of resources. We're right next to Four Winds Field. We're right next to a public library. We're right next to a lot of restaurants. We're right next to transportation. Just overall, providing a space that allows the community and the people in it to grow and really get to a point where maybe they get to a market rate building or buy a house or do something greater than what we're providing in our projects.
There is also housing activity throughout the region. Phase 2 of the mill at Ironworks Plaza in Mishawaka, adding about 215 units on top of the 230 already there. More than 300 housing units are coming online in downtown Elkhart as well. There are additional projects sprouting up in Goshen